Hey friends, welcome back to another What I Cooked for Dinner video. I have not shared one in a while, so I thought I would go ahead and share these that I've made some time ago and just never had a chance to edit them. But I'm going to share with you 4 easy, budget-friendly meals that you can make for your family, and I think your family will enjoy these. So this first one that I'm going to share with you is just a marinated lemon chicken for this night. So I have 8 skinless chicken thighs and then a lemon I just sliced up. So I have about 2 lemons that I did that with. Some Lawry's lemon pepper marinade, Kinder's garlic and herb seasoning. I love their seasonings. And just really simple and easy. I put slices of lemon under each of the chicken thighs. So that way it would kind of help with that lemon flavor and cook into the chicken. Then the Kinder's, I'm going to sprinkle on that, garlic and herb seasoning just to get it, a little bit more flavorful. Because I also did not have a chance to marinate the chicken, because I was in a hurry. So I'm just going to cook it just like this. And it's kind of, when I do a Italian chicken, I just do this with like Italian dressing, and I would just pour it on top. So that's just kind of what I'm doing here. It's going to marinate this while it's cooking. And then I take the other lemon slices, put them on top of the chicken, and that's going to help to, get that lemon flavor in there as well. I put it in the oven on 350 for, about 45 minutes to an hour till they're cooked completely. Then I just had it with some green beans and some rice, and very quick and easy meal that you can pretty much get on the table, within an hour or so. So, not a very, nothing that you have to do chopping up or anything like that. So this one's a really, really good meal that you can make, and very tasty as well. So that marinade did get into the chicken, even though I didn't marinate it in the refrigerator. It still had that flavor. So really good one to try. This next one is a 1-pot cheesy smoked sausage pasta skillet. So that's a mouthful, but this one was really, really good. What you're going to need for this is some chicken broth, a can of Rotel, with the chilies, some Colby and Monterey Jack cheese. You'll need also, and I usually use a little bit more than that, some garlic minced, some green onions, and that's optional. This is for garnish if you want to have that and have a little extra flavor. You'll need a 1/2 cup of milk or heavy cream. I'm using heavy cream. You'll also need some rotini, dry pasta. You need about 8 ounces, and don't cook it, so just keep as is. And then you're going to need some sausage and some onions chopped up, and you want to slice up your smoked sausage, and you can use whatever kind you like. I'm also going to add these 2 seasonings because I love to add those into things like this. So I'm going to take just a little bit of olive oil to, start cooking this down. And you just want to get those onions translucent. And I like to get those, the sausage, a little color to it, or a little crispy if I can do that. With the olive oil, sometimes it's a little harder than if you were to fry it just on its own. But I'm just going to cook that down until that gets to the onions get translucent and the sausage just gets cooked a little bit. And once the sausage and the onions sort of, cook a little bit, then I'm going to add in the garlic. And I don't like to add that in too quickly because I don't want it to burn or get that bitter taste, when that happens. So I just put that in, and then I'm just going to stir that in, and that's going to become fragrant, and it will, season the rest of the onion and the sausage. Add in the can of Rotel, and then I'm going to also leave the recipe down below in the description box. It was on Pinterest, so that way you can get all of the ingredients for this. And then you cook that down a little bit more. Then add in 2 cups of the chicken broth. Then you're going to add in your 1/2 cup of heavy cream or milk, whichever one you want to use. Then add in about half of the package of the rotini, and make sure it's not cooked. You're going to cook this down with that liquid. So, like I said, about 1/2 box. So that was 16 ounces. You need 8. And then I try to get those noodles into the liquid as much as I can, because you want that to boil and cook. So you want these to be tender. And I'm adding just a little bit more because I feel like it, just needed a little bit more in there. So you just kind of have to judge how much 1/2 box is and 8 ounces and all that. You can actually measure it out if you want. I'm adding some more chicken broth to it just to make sure there's enough liquid to cook those noodles. So, like I said, this is pretty much at the end of it. You're just going to add some more. See, I'm adding this extra. So I like to add in a little bit of garlic powder. It's not required. And also this Cajun seasoning. I love this New Orleans Cajun seasoning for different meals like this. And this one's really good. And I don't find it's too spicy, so it adds a little kick to it, but not too bad. And once I get all of that seasoning in there and stirred up, then I bring it to a boil, cover it, and then simmer this until the pasta is completely cooked and it's tender. And once you have that, and you can see that the liquid is basically evaporated, then add in the cheese. And as I said, I'm adding probably a little more than what it's called. It calls for a cup, but I'm adding a little bit more. So I'm going to add some in first, and then just mix it into the mixture, into the noodles and everything. So just kind of stir it the best that you can. Once you get all of that mixed in, then I take some more cheese and I will add that to the top. And I'm not going to mix it in. I'm just going to leave it melt on top. So I will cover it again and let it sit for maybe 5 minutes or so. So that way that cheese has a chance to just, melt into that pasta and sausage. And then once you're done, you can add the green onions on top. But I chose just to add it to my plate instead. But this is what it looks like when it's done, all that cheesiness. So it is a nice cheesy smoked sausage pasta. And as I said, I just added a little bit of those green onions on top, just to add a little extra flavor, and it makes it a little bit prettier. So with this, since you already have your meat and your pasta together, I did serve it with some mixed vegetables that I had in the freezer. It's like the steamed fresh broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots, which I usually try to keep that on hand. And this ended up being a really nice meal, really delicious, very flavorful. Definitely want to try, and it is, like I said, budget friendly. And this next one I'm going to share with you is super easy. I got this one off of Walmart.com. If you have their app, there is a section for recipes that they share, which I've shared on my channel before. Definitely go check that out because you can find lots of recipes. And I'm using this Smithfield. This is what it calls for, the marinated slow roasted golden rotisserie pork tenderloin. And it works great with this one. I do not suggest using it with just a plain one. I would definitely use it with this particular one. But I did put slits in to the pork loin. So you want to make sure that you do that first. Then take some honey mustard, and I'm using the Great Value brand, and it worked out fine. It called for rosemary, crushed rosemary. I'm using thyme because I'm not a big fan of the rosemary. I'm going to sprinkle on some garlic powder first, which it does not call for. Like I said, if you've been with me for a while, you know I use garlic powder in just about everything that I cook. Then I'm going to take the honey mustard, and I'm just going to squeeze it onto the pork loin. So just put enough that this will, cover and get into the slits and everything. I forget exactly. I think it's 1 1/3 cups of honey mustard. I didn't measure it. I just kind of put it on there. And then I'm just going to take a brush and try to get it into the slits that I made, so that way it kind of gets into the pork as well. It's not just sitting on top of it. So just take a brush, as I said, or a spoon, whatever you have, and just get it evenly over the top of the pork loin and get as much as you can into the slits that are cut. And once you have that honey mustard all over the pork loin, then take either your rosemary or, like I'm using, the thyme leaves, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on top. And it called for about 2 tablespoons of the rosemary, so I just sprinkled on the thyme leaves, and that worked out fine. I'm going to cover this and put it in the oven for about 60 minutes or so until the internal temperature reaches 145 and it's cooked completely. This is what it looks like when it's done. Really, I enjoyed this one so much. It was really, really good. I had some instant mashed potatoes, the red buds, I think they were, with the red potatoes, and then some more of the mixed vegetables that I like, and had some garlic bread that I had in the freezer as well. So this one was very budget friendly, really easy to make, and really delicious. Definitely want to try. This next one is a 1-pan meatball stroganoff. This was another one that we really, really did enjoy. So you're going to need some beef broth for this, and I think it called for beef stock, but I couldn't find that. So you need 3 cups. You need some meatballs, the frozen ones, so 1 pound. And I think I had a few extra in my freezer, so I added that to it as well. I had 2 bags. So I added a little bit more for us because I felt like it needed just to have a little bit more substance to it. Egg noodles, you need the wide egg noodles, so you need about 8 ounces, so about half a package because that's 16-ounce bag. Then some garlic cloves, minced garlic, 4 cloves of minced garlic. You need 2 teaspoons of paprika, salt and pepper to taste, and then you're going to need a half a cup of sour cream and about 8 ounces of sliced mushrooms. You can use, these are pretty big, so I needed to actually cut those a little bit. And you will also need 1 medium onion diced. So this, like I said, is going to be easy. You need 16 ounces of sliced mushrooms. So I'm going to take and put a little bit of the olive oil in my pan, and then I'm going to cook this down until the mushrooms reduce in size and the onions are translucent. And as I mentioned, some of these mushrooms were really large, so I wanted to have it more in bite-sized pieces. So I did go and just use my kitchen shears and just cut them a little bit to make sure, they were more bite-sized pieces than, just these large pieces of mushroom. Once you do that, just like I said, cook it down until your mushrooms and your onions are sauteed very well. Add in the garlic. And you can use fresh garlic. I have this on hand to keep in my refrigerator because a lot of times I just don't have a lot of time to sit there and peel and, mince up garlic. So this one's just a time saver for me. And sometimes my garlic goes bad, so having that in the refrigerator is definitely a time saver in many ways. So just add that in until you get that fragrance from the garlic. And it gets mixed in about a minute or so. Just cook that down. Now add in your beef broth or your beef stock, whichever one you're using. Add in the paprika. And I'm sure you could use smoked paprika if you want. Then just mix that in. You're going to start adding in the meatballs. And like I said, it's at 1 pound. And I did add about 4 more, I think, from the other package that I had, just because, we have a few people that are eating this. So I wanted to make sure there was enough meatballs in this to go around. So I just added about 4 more from the other package. And I always keep, I added probably 5, but I always keep meatballs in the freezer because it's great for that. And white egg noodles, you need half that package, so about 8 ounces dry, because you're going to cook this down like you would like a hamburger helper kind of thing. So just make sure you get the dry noodles into the liquid, and if you have to, you can add more liquid to it if you want to make sure that it does, cook well, and you don't get any hard pieces in it. And just make sure that the pasta is sitting in that liquid. Once it comes to a boil, then you're going to cover it, and you're going to cook this until that water is cooked out. So about 15 to 20 minutes or so. Just keep an eye on it so it doesn't burn. Once you have most of the water out, then you're going to add in your sour cream. So you're mainly just wanting those, that pasta to cook and become tender. But you do want some of the liquid, not all of it, out. So that way you kind of still have a little bit of a sauce. You'll know about how much you should still have in there. So just don't let it all evaporate. Then mix it all in, and once it's done, you have a really delicious, hearty meal. And I love this because it's the pasta and the protein, the meat that's in it as well. And then I just served it with just, a can of green beans that I had, a few cans that I opened up. And if you want, you could serve it with some bread, some garlic bread, anything like that. Or a salad would work with this as well. So this was very budget friendly, really easy to make, and I think it's something your family would enjoy. But I hope that you enjoyed these meals, and it gives you some ideas for things that you can make in the coming week for your family, and make it a little easier for you to meal plan. But I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in seeing more like it, please click that subscribe button and the notification bell. That will notify you when I post new videos. Hope everyone has a very blessed week, and I thank you so much for watching. God bless y'all.